Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another JVS movie review. As today and for this week, I'll be bringing you reviews from the Middleburg Film Festival. Now, for people that don't know out there, the Middleburg Film Festival is the biggest film festival for film critics in the Washington, D.C. area. And it's equivalent to like our Toronto Film Festival or Sundance or anything of that nature, the film festivals later on in the year that bring the award hopeful films out for critics to see. So, you get a clear picture of what the Oscar films will be. So, the first film from this film festival, which was the opening film of the film festival, King Richard. Now, King Richard stars Will Smith, Aunjanue Ellis, Saniyya Sidney, and John Bernthal. Now, here's a quick synopsis, and then we'll get into the film. King Richard follows the journey of Richard Williams, an undeterred father instrumental in raising two of the most extraordinary gifted athletes of all time, who end up changing the sport of tennis forever. Driven by a clear vision of their future and using unconventional methods, Richard has a plan that will take Venus and Serena from the streets of Compton to the global stage as legendary icons. The most important thing that most people always wonder about with King Richard, or have been wondering about since the notion that this film was going to come out, is could Will Smith nail the role of Richard Williams, who was, if you grew up in that time period with Richard Williams, right when Venus and Serena were coming out, you know how big of a personality he is and how captivating at times he could be and irritating for some people at times he could be. Let's kill all the notions. Will Smith nails the role of Richard Williams. Now, does that mean this is an Oscar type of performance for Will Smith? I don't know if I'm willing to go that far. I know it's a really good to great performance from him as Richard Williams, as every time he's on screen, he captivates you. You are just stuck on him. But then you have a great performance by Aunjanue Ellis as the mom here, and she kills it. But more than anything, Saniyya Sidney as Venus Williams is an aberration. She's amazing in this movie. Like, going into this movie, because of the name of Will Smith and all the other big name and talented actors in here, you wouldn't think that the person who will blow you away the most in this movie would be Saniyya Sidney. But she is amazing in this film. Now, the film does start off kind of, actually the whole film is just telling really the story of the rise of Venus Williams here, as we are introduced to the kids right before they really hit the tour, right before Richard's plan for their lives come to fruition, as they are picked up by coaches and everything happens in the junior amateurs and things of that nature, as we see the rise of Venus Williams. Wow, that's a great story. It is also one of the few flaws in this movie, because at no point in time did I feel like we got the overall story of Richard Williams. This is a very isolated story. It only focuses on that time period of Venus becoming a tennis phenomenon and Serena coming up behind her. That's the only point of time where this film focuses on. And because you only focus on that time period, I think you kind of limit the man and the character that Richard Williams could have been. Because while we get hints in the film about a past life of his, we get no glimpses of that past life. We don't understand his connection to the girl, why he feels so strongly about the girls. We know, as he says repeatedly in this film, he came up with a plan from the moment they were born, and his plan was going to work out because he was going to push them to do this. But in a movie, there's three other daughters that we don't really get to focus on a lot. And then later on in the movie is brought up, and anyone who knows the story of Richard Williams, that there are other kids involved in it, but we don't get that story. And just him as a man is not really shown as much as just him as Venus and Serena's father. And while that is enough to make a really good performance, it's not enough necessarily to make a great performance. And again, that is the only flaw of this film. Granted, it is still a crowd-pleasing affair. Reinaldo Green, who is the director of this film, really put together a film that I think audiences will absolutely fall for. It has everything in it humanly possible without falling into some of the tropes that you get from sports movies, especially when you know the outcome. We know what these girls become. We know what Venus Williams becomes, but yet and still he manages to shoot every time she steps on the court with such conviction. You know the history and you still wonder, like, is she really gonna win? Like, what's gonna happen here? What's gonna happen here? He does a great job of setting all of that in motion. Again, along with some great performances that will captivate you from start to finish. John Bernthal in this film as Venus's later on in life coach after her first coach. Richard becomes Richard Williams. If you know the story, you know what he did with the first coach, and then you get to the second coach played by John Bernthal. It's a really over the top performance, completely over the top by him, and you're gonna love every bit of it because it's over the top. But again, it's Saniyya Sidney. Man, she blows me away with the emotion that she manages to pull out of this performance as Venus Williams. Again, she's not on the screen a lot, but she's on the screen enough that every time she steps on there, you are captivated by her. Not just by the performances at the sports arena of her playing tennis against people and things of this nature, and you see the competitive drive from that aspect. I'm talking about the other moments where it's this one scene with her and Will Smith where she just wants to play. And Richard has a plan for her in place, but it kind of seems like his plan for her in place is also out of fear of what could happen to her. And the emotion that she gives in that scene and other scenes in this movie are great. It is something that I don't think you could have gotten out of another actress at all. At any age group, especially in a sports film, because those are the films that it's hardest to bring those type of performances out of. And she manages to nail the performance to a T. And it just blew me away as I'm watching her on screen, along with Will Smith, and at times me believing that she is outperforming Will Smith in this movie. So, King Richard, brought to you by Warner Brothers from the Middleburg Film Festival. I believe this film releases November the 19th. I want to say it's November the 19th. Will be released day and date in theaters and on HBO Max. Out of a possible 10, I'm going to give this movie a 8.5 out of 10. This is a crowd-pleasing sports family drama spectacle that I can't imagine people not liking. It'll be humanly possible for you not to like this movie. It's not a bad performance in this movie. Everybody is great. I know I did not focus on the other three daughters in this film because they're not in it a lot. But when we see the interaction with the girls, it feels like home. It feels so amazing. That's some of Will's strongest performance in this film comes when he's just interacting with the family. We get to see the over-the-topness of Richard Williams from the perspective of Will Smith playing him. And while those moments are great, it's those other moments that make this film amazing. It's those other moments that makes Will Smith's performance good enough to be Oscar nominated, because he nails it, especially when he's dealing with the girls. He nails it. I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's a scene in this film for, again, everybody who knows that grew up in Compton, where the girls are practicing playing tennis and his oldest daughter is just studying and these boys come up to harass her. And when you look at Will's face as he's playing Richard, as he's defending the honor of his daughter, it can almost bring you to tears. And that is the definition of a good performance. And that's why I think anyone who sees this movie should love it. So again, King Richard, brought to you by the Middleburg Film Festival. Hey, when it drops, check it out. Let us know what you think. This has been another JVS movie review. Peace, people.